House conservatives say no further discussion on debt limit until Senate can pass a bill. About time. It's about time Republicans finally standing up and doing something. And this is the same negotiation tactics that the Democrats used when Trump was in power, where they wanted to raise the debt ceiling. So now they're getting a taste of their own medicine. But before we get started, go ahead and hit that like button, share this out so we can get this information out there. Subscribe if you're not already a subscriber, and hit that alarm bell so you know when I'm putting out new stuff. Also, check out my link tree in the description. It has a link to my Patreon where I talk about things I can't talk about here. There's also a link to my Instagram and my merch store where I have I Will Not Comply t-shirts. Also, check out jjthepsychotherapist.com where I put out news that'll keep you informed. All right, let's talk about this news. As negotiations between the White House and congressional leaders on the debt limit continue, the conservative House Freedom Caucus is advocating for House Speaker McCarthy and the Senate GOP to get the House passed debt limit bill signed into law, setting up a last-minute showdown on the issue. Whatever deal President Biden and McCarthy agree to will have to pass through the GOP-led House and Democrat-led Senate. Unless enough House Democrats support passage of the agreement, unanimous opposition from the House Freedom Caucus could sink the deal. There are currently close to 50 members of that caucus. Biden, House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries, and Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer have been pushing for a clean debt ceiling increase. The Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell has said there aren't enough votes for a clean debt ceiling bill without spending reforms. The two sides have about 2 weeks to hash out an agreement that can pass through Congress to avoid the possibility of default. I don't necessarily think that's a bad thing. The government spending is out of control. When I'm running out of money in my bank account, do I get to raise my debt ceiling? Do I get extra money to spend? No. You have to budget. Government need to learn how to budget. I'm tired of every year they're having to raise the debt limits. It's ridiculous. Spending is out of control. Ron Paul been talking about government spending for years now. But the GOP-led House recently passed a bill to raise the debt limit until next year by $1.5 trillion with the T, which includes limits on domestic spending, growth, and the elimination of select green energy tax credits that are part of the Democrats' $740 billion so-called Inflation Reduction Act that passed last year. And we all know that it did not reduce any inflation. And thanks to Senator Manchin, which I definitely have not forgot, that bill has passed, which got us an even worse inflation than what we were originally. The inflation is supposed to help, and that's why I think Manchin is doing all these things now to try to get the people of West Virginia back on his side, because a lot of people in West Virginia are pissed that he helped pass this Inflation Reduction Act. And only reason he passed it because he made a deal with Biden, which Biden ended up screwing him over with the deal, which I said was going to happen in the first place. But, quote, the U.S. House of Representatives have done its job in passing the Limit, Save, Grow Act to provide a mechanism to raise the debt ceiling. This legislation is the official position of the House Freedom Caucus, and by its passage with 217 votes, the entire House Republican Conference, said a spokesperson for the conservative caucus, quote, the House Freedom Caucus calls on Speaker McCarthy and Senate Republicans to use every leverage and tool at their disposal to ensure the Limit, Save, Grow Act is signed into law. There should be no further discussion until the Senate passes the legislation, he added. The spokesperson said his statement describes the official position of the entire conservative caucus. So we'll see what happens with this. I'm interested to know. But let me know what you think about all this. Leave your comment. You think, do you really think that the Republicans are going to stick to their guns, or do you think McCarthy's going to cave? Leave your comments down below. Like, share, and subscribe, and check out DemarcRepublics.com and jjthepsychotherapist.com. I need to stop pushing DemarcRepublics.com because I'm not really posting any more news there. So check out jjthepsychotherapist.com for the latest in news. Until next time, peace.